much do y'all figure the Howards pay in just insurance every year? I mean, at basics, you've got health insurance for a family of 3, home insurance, and car insurance for 2 cars, right? Probably life insurance, but that's not important. So your basic insurance for a home of 3. But then you have a 25-foot dog, which canonically, I guess, is a Labrador. That's what they kept comparing him to online. So first off, there's going to be pet insurance. Now, given that he is 25 foot, I don't know whether or not they have to have an exotic animal license. I mean, he's your classic Labrador, but he's 25 foot. Do they even need an exotic animal license? Do they have to purchase liability given his size? Given that he is as tall as a 2-story building and weighs, it's like, I think 167,000 pounds. That's a lot of possible wrongful death suits. A lot of property damage. And then they gotta pay building insurance for his presumably 3-story doghouse. It's gotta be 3 stories because if it were 2 stories, he'd be bumping his noggin. And that kind of makes me wonder why they moved to Birdwell Island given his sheer size. Did they cut a deal with the insurance company that it minimizes his liability for damages? But this led me down a bigger path. Is it still affordable just to feed Clifford dog food and tummy yummies? Because if he weighs 174,000 pounds, and dogs over 100 pounds are supposed to get 5 1/4 cups of food a day with an extra third for each additional 10 pounds, it's something like 592 cups of food every day. And then you can't feed him like a horse or anything with hay or even an elephant because dogs are omnivores. So I don't even think you could just like purchase a whole cow for him to eat like in Jurassic Park. So what is the cost of the dog food? Also, do Speckle and Friends not kind of look like or remind you of the Happy Tree Friends? These are the questions. It occurs to me after some extended thought that Birdwell Island has to have an odor issue. Like, the smell must be ungodly. So, like, Mr. Crush Parking Lot Candy, when I was telling him about my concerns via Clifford, because we realized that he eats about 10,000 pounds of dog food every day, what do we do with Clifford's poo? Like, obviously, the pooper scooper's going to have to be one of those big trucks with the scooper on the front they use for construction, which in of itself is probably really expensive, but, like, do you need a special license to operate that? If and where do you take the poo? You're on an island, so theoretically you could probably put it in the ocean to regulate the smell, but then, like, after a very short amount of time, you're going to have a whole section of beach that's just covered in poo. Just a seawall of turds. And considering they live on the island, the beach is probably a very big tourist income for them. You don't want to fill up your beach with dog poo. And then you could say, oh, they probably take it to the dump, but you're going to run into the same issue. Now you have dog poo, like, mounted on top of each other in the hot sun. The smell's going to be awful. Have you ever walked into a backyard that doesn't poop or scoop in the middle of summer? Picture that, but from a 175,000-pound dog. I mean, possibly the smartest thing they can do is to open up their own fertilizer plant, then use his waste to create their own brand of fertilizer, and then that's how they pay for all of Clifford's 10,000 pounds a day diet. That's all I got. Okay, bye.